Hello, I'm Karen Elgersma, co-hosting with
Natasha Ewing
at Cattle Point, and you're watching Go Island on Shaw TV. On today's show, what the Salish Sea means to our Coast Salish people, and what happened to a certain seagull when he landed on the wrong part of the sea. All that and more on Go Island. Hello, thank you so much for joining us on a very special edition of Go Island. Why? Because when you live on an island, it is so important to celebrate
World Oceans Day.
World Oceans Day! I feel like you have to say it big because it's the whole world.
It's the whole world.
I'm so lucky to have a very talented co-host today who knows all about the ocean. Tell us a little bit about what you do, and it's really exciting because you are the perfect co-host for the World Ocean Day special. Tell us about what you do, Natasha.
Yeah, I work with Ocean Networks Canada, and I'm the K-12 education coordinator, so I'm bringing marine science to the schools, to students, to teachers, and trying to get them to incorporate this wonderful topic and ecosystem into their classrooms.
You know, teaching, I think, is one of the greatest callings on the planet. You change lives forever, particularly when you get young children. What have you seen as you've gone into the classroom, or better yet, taken the kids out of the classroom to Mother Nature, the best classroom of all, and taught all about our oceans and ocean sciences? What have you seen?
They could just get really excited. I mean, it's such a powerful subject. How can you not be somehow connected to the ocean? Whether you live 5 minutes away or 5 days away, the ocean is affecting all of us, and it's just really establishing that connection with students and teachers.
Now, World Ocean Day, big, huge celebration. So if you haven't had the privilege of hanging out with this talented, inspiring teacher, you can this Saturday, Bastion Square. What's going on?
Bastion Square, from 10 to 4 p.m. we're going to host this huge event. We have what we call a sea fair, local organizations from UVic, from the CETA Society, Springtide Whale Watching. All these great places are coming together to showcase how they're connected with the ocean and what they're doing. We also have kids activities, so doing hands-on experiments, looking at sea animals, using the touch tables from Sequaria to really establish and learn about what's in our ocean.
So, co-host, introduce us to our first guest, and maybe our only guest on the show.
Yes, so we have Rick Searle here with us this morning. He's the manager of education and engagement with Ocean Networks Canada.
That's my Vanna, just showing him.
Where's the mermaid suit?
I'm telling you, I should have it. What does it mean to you that we are all going to pause this weekend and truly celebrate our ocean?
Wow, what it means to us is really, it's a time for us to thank, amongst other things, the largest ecosystem, as Natasha just indicated. But this is the birthplace of life on the planet. This is where all life, this is where we began. It's also the place that provides us with every second breath. Some of my friends who's asked me, so what's the big deal about the ocean, Rick? And I turn around and I say to them, how long can you hold your breath?
Yeah.
Right? Because without the ocean, we wouldn't have the oxygen. You know, Karen, there's something else too. I think when most of us look out across the ocean, we see a flat plane.
Yeah.
Not many of us really can appreciate it's a volume.
Yeah.
Right? It's not just a plane, it's not just, reflected light off the surface. Below that surface,
The whole world.
there's a whole world. And when you think about it, divers are only piercing what would be the equivalent to the skin of an apple.
I know, it's
the rest
crazy.
of the ocean is unknown.
It's crazy. You just boggled my mind. I have to pause. I can't talk to you anymore because my mind hurts. So I'm going to have to throw to a story. Of course, the ocean means so much to everyone, but for our Coast Salish people, it has a history and a language and a culture that is rich and deep. Our very own Jen Moranitz has that story.
Thanks, Jen. What an amazing story. And it's so neat that at the bottom of the Salish Sea, we actually have instruments with the Venus network. So we're collecting real-time data on ocean properties, ocean sounds, and you can even see visuals from the deep sea.
Love that. I just think that's so fascinating because it's that moment of mystery when you look over, like if you're on a ferry and you're going, I have no idea what's underneath. That's so cool. What else is happening this weekend at Bastion Square? Of course, we have World Ocean Day. I have to say it because it just sounds like such a big deal. And then in the evening, there's some stuff going on too.
Yeah, we have a great public lecture by Valerie. She's a grad student at UVic, and she's been studying the reef balls off of Ogden Point. So you can come learn and see how her research has been learning about the succession of animals, how animals are coming and going, and how these reef balls have been populating and creating a whole new habitat right off Ogden Point.
What do you think of my co-host? I think she should have her own show.
Well, you know, Karen, she's headed in that direction.
I know. I'm very excited. And of course, speaking of shows, there's an amazing film festival that's part of the World Ocean Day, isn't there?
I don't think you emphasize that quite enough, Karen.
I just like saying World Ocean Day. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
Because first, what do we have to talk about?
We got to talk about the Ocean Symposium.
That's right, and you know all about it, don't you?
I do, yes. We had about 80 students and teachers a few weeks ago come to UVic and learn about marine sciences from all the various disciplines, get their hands wet, talk with grad students, and really see what the field is about.
And our very own Paul Balsman was there.
Thanks, Paul. What an amazing event. And if you want to learn more about the ocean, on June 9th, we have 4 films that are coming to Cinecenta at UVic.
World Oceans Day. It is just a weekend filled with fun things. Tell us about the highlights of the World
The highlight.
Ocean Day.
So we've got 4 great films
Yes.
and 3 great speakers. One of the speakers is the producer-director of A Hand to Stand. Now this is a really cool story, Karen. This is a story about youth, Aboriginal youth, learning to reconnect with their territory on stand-up paddleboards that they create themselves. Like, how cool is that?
That's amazing.
Anyhow, we've got another couple of films. One deals with the BP oil spill, which I think everybody was terrified by.
Yeah.
And then we have one called One Ocean, One World that talks about how the ocean affects us all. And the last is The Island President. Now, this is a really great film, because it talks about the geopolitics of climate change and how a small group of islands in Indonesia, Southeast Asia, are disappearing because they're only the highest point, I think, is 1 meter above sea level. So their islands are disappearing. And it's about the president of that island, and he travels around the world to try and convince people to do something.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a powerful story.
And speaking of climate change, we have a story coming up after the break on climate change and what can we do about it. I mean, it's one of those big philosophical questions. We've done the damage, can we reverse it? And if we do, are we messing around with Mother Nature? So stay with us because that story's coming up. Welcome back to Go Island. We are so happy that you've joined us for our World Ocean Day special. Of course, we're at Cattle Point, surrounded by the ocean. Well, and I have a co-host, Natasha. What are you playing with, Natasha?
Oh, this is a little bit of bow kelp, but it also makes really great mermaid hair if you'd like to try.
What do you think?
You know?
I think, yeah? Does it work for me?
Yeah, I think it does. Really brings out the color of your eyes.
Oh, I love it. And of course, as we're celebrating World Oceans Day, we are looking at so many of the things that affect our planet and our oceans, including climate change. Tell us about the next story with our very own Jen Moranitz.
Yeah, so this is a really interesting story. This is with one of our, he is our chief scientist up at Ocean Networks Canada, and he gave a fascinating talk about climate change and how we're attempting to mitigate climate change by using all sorts of wild and crazy ideas. So this
I like it.
Yeah, it's really quite powerful.
Fascinating. Thank you for bringing us that fascinating story, Jen. We are here at beautiful Cattle Point, surrounded by the ocean, because it is World Oceans Day. And my co-host Natasha is going to tell us about some of the cool things that are happening at Fisherman's Wharf this weekend.
Yeah, so down at Fisherman's Wharf, there's a few other activities going on, including the Fisheye project, which is really neat, where they do live dives. So there's going to be divers under the water with mics, with cameras, and you'll be able to see and hear and communicate back to them exactly what they're seeing and ask them questions as they're kicking around underneath the float home.
That's what we need. We need an underwater TV reporter for Go Island. Yeah. What do you think?
I'm down.
I think it's a great idea, Karen.
I scuba dive.
Done. My co-host is going to go underwater, and she'll be my underwater co-host. That'll be so great. As we continue to celebrate World Oceans Day here on Go Island, we're going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we have a story that takes place in the ocean, and it has been our #1 hit for YouTube stories in the history of Shaw TV. I have 2 words for you: seagulls and an octopus. I could watch that story every day. It is just amazing. And that is why we love the ocean. It is an extraordinary, magical part of our ecosystem.
It really is, and we're attempting to bring more of that magic to viewers of Shaw TV through a new program we're going to be releasing in the fall called Ocean Alive.
I am so excited. And of course, everyone has to come down to World Ocean Day this weekend, Bastion Square. Just remind everyone of the highlights of this weekend.
Kids activities, seafair with local organizations, and a wonderful public lecture, followed by a whole film festival on June 9th.
And if you are out and about, just drop into Bastion Square, even for an hour or 2. It really is a special event. The whole world is celebrating. Thank you for co-hosting with me, Natasha. You are amazing.
Isn't she though?
She really is. It's been amazing. You're so smart. That's the best part. I'm not. I can talk, but I'm blonde. And thank you for joining us.
Hey, you're welcome, Karen, anytime, you know.
It's been a lot of fun, and I hope to see you down at Bastion Square this weekend. And thank you so much for watching. If you have any feedback, ideas, or thoughts, you know where to find us: Twitter, Facebook. You can go to our website, email us. We'll see you next time.